Hey guys, afternoon, how you doing? Morning to you guys. Yep, I was supposed to be away this morning, but missed my flight, got caught in traffic, so I'm away tomorrow now. So we have some news coming up shortly on USD, hence why I'm looking at this demand zone to see if price holds up on gold and kind of see what happens. So hey Hassan. So gold is we have our swing high here and our current swing low. We had a breaker structure here. Now again, gold's been pretty messy because the last real M15 breaker structure we had was up over here where we had that change of character. And then gold just did this, failed to take out the low. Or did it? Well, it marginally did on the 15 minute. So we've kind of had this range that we're working with. This is the high, this is the low, and we're looking at a retracement. Now a retracement we had a change of character here on the 5 minute, which indicated a pullback on the M15. Now all of this has been internal structure consolidation, which is very tricky to trade. You know, this was the low that caused this push up, and this was the demand zone, so lots of liquidity built up, which eventually got swept. We do have liquidity built up here, which I'm expecting, depending on what the news comes. Now, if there wasn't news, I probably would have been interested in just jumping in on a trade here as we speak. But with news in like less than 9 minutes, the better trade option would be to see a push above, sweep that, any retracement, and we can then start to continue pushing price back to the top side to fulfill the current 15-minute pullback that we have, which is currently this kind of range here that we have. So we have our M15 push down, M15 retracement for the next push down to mitigate this 4-hour pullback. So it's like, if we didn't have news, I would have definitely have entered here. Would have probably just seen price mitigate this and look to enter, but with there being news, I do not want to overly commit into a trade too soon and kind of get wicked out or stopped out. So I'd much prefer to wait. But this is the low, so where we've had that change of character to enter that 15-minute pullback. Now lots of people will probably be sitting thinking, oh, we've broken lows, blah blah blah, we're heading down. But look what price is doing. It's reacting perfectly from this demand now, and look where on the M15 where within that GAN box is reacting from. That 50% line that we spoken about. So you could perfectly see prices reacting from that. Yeah, and I'll have a look at that. So you can see prices perfectly reacting from that. But again, I don't want to enter too quick. But if price takes out this low here that caused this internal high to break and created this high, then I'm not expecting price to head there anymore. I'm just going to expect price to kind of do this and head towards this side and complete the 4-hour pullback. At this point, I'll look for a shift and then look to start trading it back up. So we are in a pretty critical area in terms of what price is going to do. Either the 4-hour or the 15-minute pullback continues and we sweep all of this liquidity here and we mitigate these areas of imbalance and we fulfill the pullback. So if we mark our fib from the high to the low, you can see this supply zone sits perfectly within it, like inch perfect. Unmitigated supply where we had this aggressive selling. We could definitely head up towards there. So, you know, let's just be patient. Like I said, if there wasn't news, I would definitely have been tempted to jump in on this trade here. But and you can see, look at how price is pushing off from this region. But yeah, key thing is just wait, see what the news does. You know, we could see, if we see a push up, we could see a spike with news. Price could respect that supply zone. If it creates some demand, then we could look to continue, because if price is truly going to continue bearish, then we would have swept this low over here and broken that structure. Hey, morning, Whitney. You said CAD JPY Anchor. So CAD JPY is not really a pair that I would have been interested in. You know, overall price has been bullish. It is heading towards this area of supply that's not mitigated, and in this current 4-hour structure, you know, we kind of done this, then we failed to break the high, we failed to break the low, so we're kind of sideways. You know, so it's pretty difficult, because if you see the low here to the high that was created, the pullback, it never came all the way back, but it mitigated this area of demand. So it's a bit choppy. You know, it's a bit choppy. Now, my entry on was up over here. Now I've taken some partials purely because we've got news coming in. So if news comes in, then I'll manage it and see what price kind of does. But GJ, I'm expecting it to continue down, but we could see a spike. Obviously, we have news, high impact news coming in for CAD, for USD. So we'll wait and see what that brings. Hey Corey, how you doing, mate? So yeah, CAD JPY is pretty sideways. It's not a pair that I would have really got involved in all fairness. Because even if you're in sells, there is no real sells as it stands. Because you've had this, you know, you originally had this kind of sell head, then you had this expansion. And then the current 15-minute structure within this was this high, this pullback, this high, this pullback. So that's just a pullback filled, and price is kind of doing this, creating a new 15-minute high. And especially with CAD news coming out, I'll just be cautious. Look at gold, look at gold. Now I've got this area marked over here as well, because there is a minor area of supply here, as you can see here, but the extreme is up here where price kind of with that 70 to 79 fib sits within. So look at that, we grab liquidity from below these lows here, and now price is starting to push up. But again, we have news in 3 minutes, so just be patient and wait and see, you know, see what news does. Because now, you know, we have created some internal structure with price after this massive push down. So we had this huge push down, we had a retracement, we broke the low here. So if we can push above, change a character, then there's much more higher probability that we're going to continue up to like 2028, 2030, and then eventually 2036, before we can see price heading back down to 1994-95 region. So I'm just going to keep on gold for a second and see what happens with this new spike. Remember guys, if you haven't hit the like button, I'd appreciate that. Now originally I took gold buys here in the morning, but I closed at this point here because I could see there's an area of supply here, and price doesn't want to break above it, so I gave it a couple of opportunities. But when it started to consolidate, I was like, you know, I'm gonna get out. There's no need for me to sit in it, especially with news in the afternoon. Right, we have 10 seconds for news. Let's see what news brings. Oh, nice spike on gold. So retail sales came in below, but as you could see, you don't want to be overly eager and kind of jumping into anything. So retail sales came in 0.0. So below than expected, but higher than last month. So remember, that's like a mixed bag when you see that as news. Indeed, Damien. So yeah, so forecast was missed. So CAD's pretty strong. CPI came in hotter than expected on CAD. Look at that. So yeah, it was red folders for it was red news for gold. I mean for USD, sorry, but it missed forecast, but it came in higher than previous. So previous month was minus 0.8 and minus 1%, and it came in at 0.4% on both. So yes, we missed forecast, but it beat last month by a substantial amount. So that's kind of a mixed bag, mixed sentiment when it comes to news. But again, you know, look how dangerous that is. Look at the spike either direction. Now imagine being in a buy, you're having a buy limit or sell limit. You are smoked in those positions. And that's the beauty of having an analysis and looking at both sides of the coin. I don't need to be like, oh, I'm expecting this to go up, so I have to buy this, so I have to buy this. No, we don't. You know, we have an analysis on both sides. If price continues down, we have a key area sitting down here that way we can look to buy it from if structure shifts. If not, we have an area up here, which right now price is hovering around it. If it breaks it, it breaks it. If it doesn't and it pushes up, you know, so if we kind of look at this, what spike was this? 72 pips off a spike to the top side. Now remember, this fib over here is at 70 to 79% on the 4-hour pullback. You know, from our 4-hour low to our 4-hour high, this is the entire swing pullback on that fib. And you could see we have that imbalance there and that area of unmitigated demand. So, but look at that candle. Look at that 15-minute candle, 100 pips nearly either side. But the good thing here is that if price breaks above this, alright, if price breaks above this is a little bit messy, but you could see we kind of had this push above and then we had a break down. If we have this, we've got a breaker structure to the top side because price here this is a 70 pip pullback. You know, it looks a bit ugly, but you could see on a lower time frame we had a internal breaker structure here, but it's still within our area of demand. So now if this supply fails, this minor supply, well, I say minor supply, but we have a supply here. If this fails and we can get some strong momentum above, pullback, you could be looking for buyers. But it has to break this. It could just react to this supply and roll over. CAD is on fire. Delete some of this stuff here. you know, as tempting as it might seem, like the price is holding this, buy it. You don't want to be overly eager and commit. Let the market show you its hand. You know, wait for structure to form and shift. Imagine how many people who are breakout traders would have lost money here. If you're looking to buy and you're seeing this as resistance and price, as soon as it breaks above, you're taking your buy position there. You know, say you're covering your stop loss below here, boom, you're stopped out. If you're looking to short, you're probably selling below this region. Now you're in drawdown or closed out. So it's just like, it's not worth the aggravation. You know, we'll have a couple of scenarios here for confidence for buyers if price breaks above. The fact that we are in that area of demand. So if that holds, number one. Number two, we had a break structure here. So if we can break above, we've had to change a character back to the top side. Number three, if this supply fails to hold, then there's further confluence. But if it doesn't and price continues down, then we'll wait for price to head down towards this area of demand and look for buys on the reversal. Is anyone in any trades? Anything you guys are having a look at? Yeah, indeed, that would be terrible. That would be terrible. Yeah, go back and have a look at your CAD JPY. Hopefully you learn from it and you realize that that wouldn't have been a short. Go back to reading structure how we do and realize that, you know, price was in a range on a higher time frame, so there was no decisive direction. So trying to trade that was always going to be very difficult. And internal structure never shifted bearish as well. So important to place yourself on the right side of the market when it comes to market structure. Yeah, break it down, have a look at it, see where you potentially went wrong on it. Oh, I'm still in GJ. Can't complain. Look at gold. Gold is starting to do what we want it to do. Nice anchor. Now see guys, this is the ability of understanding the markets and understanding structure correctly and accurately. We're not sitting there trying to buy limits, sell limits, breakout. Now imagine breakout trading here. Like I said, you'd be smoked either side. But we had a clear understanding of what we're expecting price to potentially do. And you know, now it's playing out in the way we expected it to originally. You know, and why was I more in favor of price to the top side? Because, like I already told you, there was our change of character, price entering a pullback. So what was the low that needed to be protected? It was this over here, because we took out this lower high. This was the low that did that. We had this huge expansion, and then we had a range. So technically all of this was a pullback on this for price to then do this. So it's, understanding that is just super important. Now again, you know, was I probably tempted to take a trade here? Yeah, but I don't want to do those kind of things on stream and teach to kind of be impulsive. You know, if our expectation is for price to continue its 15-minute pullback, which is up into this range, then all we really need is an opportunity for a pullback. It's not about FOMO and saying, oh, I missed out, or this happened or that happened. It's nothing to do with that. You know, it's understanding that there will be other trades. You know, but the most important thing is having an awareness of where price is going and why it's heading there. So once you have the confidence, then like the examples I already gave, there's our internal break. We've shifted above internally. Well, we will have once we go above this previous high over here. Remember, it's lower time frame, so the wicks count. But we've held this area perfectly fine, this demand zone, and this demand zone is that 15-minute demand zone that was created here that caused the price to enter the pullback off of this sell-off. Because you can see there's our 15 high, there's our 15 low. Why is all of this our 15-minute structure? Because this was our 15-minute pullback, so everything was internal until the point it broke below this. Now it's a very minor break below this, but nonetheless it is a break. So once it's a break, that is our high point. There is our current 15-minute low. Now within this, we have our 5-minute trend, you know, which we're kind of doing, you know, we'd never break below this. So it's really coming back over here. We then come down. We then have a pullback. We then break below. We then have a pullback. And then on a lower time frame, you can see we'll have done something like this. And then we had a change of character just over here. So that's telling us now, indicating to us that price has entered that 15-minute pullback off of this entire 15-minute leg of price action. And these are the significant things that people can't understand reading structure in this manner. And that's where most people fail. Now go again and look where within the Gann box price closed based on what I teach. You know, you could see that in the course, you could see it, the guys that are doing the one-to-ones as well, you could see it, price perfectly closed. All it was a liquidity grab below. Price is within that 15-minute pullback. We're heading back up most probably now to that 2036 range. We swept the liquidity from below. We have liquidity above. Price has held this area perfectly. News couldn't cause price to break below. Now on a lower time frame, you know, we're creating some demand. Perfect. We got impulsive move to the top side. We have had a internal breaker structure here. So if we look at this, you know, now on an M15 we have an area of supply here, which we can probably expect price to react to. And if this can kind of act as a catalyst for a pullback for continuation, you know, price could react from that, or price could also react from an area of supply here. So if we had that internal break and we mark our fib, you know, so anything Yeah, Kobe, I kind of mentioned I would be expecting price to head back up to like 2030. There's two areas of supply, 2028 to 2030 or 2034 to 2038 is where the pullback range is before we can see the next push to the downside. Now this is where lots of people be like, oh, it's supply, let me start shorting here and stuff. You don't want to get caught up with that kind of stuff. Stay with the dominant move, stay with the dominant trend, stay with what price is doing. So now watch list, AUD-CHF has not quite come back yet, so not much to do with that. Same with AUD-NZD. CAD-CHF as well, price has not come back. Might not see it come back with the bullish news today. Euro AUD, not quite back in the range. Euro CAD just broke straight through this region. Yep, that's right, Kobeb. You can see where gold is kind of reacting from. Missed some buys here on Euro USD, unfortunately. You can see your Euro USD, we kind of started to internally shift bullish off of this demand zone. Had this push up, pull back, and then we had this push up. Could have entered here, or could have entered when price retested here, and then price created a new high. So pretty unlucky with that one. GBP-CHF, it still hasn't come back. See what GU did. GU reacted to that supply and just, so we had a 15. Yeah. Yeah, buyers probably look good for GU on a pullback, in all fairness here. Just never got a, it's a bit tough, never got a clean break above this. Oh, did we? Kinda did. This could be a good area. Continue filling out this 4-hour range. The only thing is we never mitigated higher time frame demand down here. We just kind of start to reverse from pretty much anywhere. And ZDJPY just perfectly bounced off of that area of demand. NAS, yeah, NAS is pretty choppy. Like it's, you know, we kind of have this high and we kind of have this low, so it's kind of within these two ranges. It's in this daily area of supply, so I'm expecting a 4-hour pullback down into this area of demand. But it's hard to trade that until we kind of see a break. So if we can get some sort of strong volume break and a pullback, we could then kind of see price heading down. TXY is pushing up, interesting. Well, it could just be reacting from this supply to roll over again. Go back to DXY here. Kind of missed these buys. These would have been good buys, like 40 pips. USDJPY. Yeah, overall USDJPY is still bullish. So you can see USDJPY, we had a daily break there, so we entered a weekly pullback. but we had this pretty much big push down. So all of these are like 4-hour trends purely because the daily structure never had any kind of retracement, and we had this big push. So everything else was internal. So then we kind of shifted on the 4-hour and created this kind of swing to head back up towards probably 146 or 142. Yeah, we had another area of supply. So as we had a daily pullback here on the 4-hour, we then shifted and we went bullish. Then we had the last breaker structure here on the 4-hour, because we never had like a clean break of this daily kind of internal high that it formed. Price came into demand, reacted off it, and started to push up. So as it stands, you know, we do have this area of supply where price is approaching and this high, but we should expect price to continue pushing up to break this high cleanly and then probably enter a retracement. So as it stands, if no one caught any trades down in these regions, then there's not much really to trade unless we kind of get a pullback. And it's pretty messy. I don't really like it. So yeah, it's overall it's bullish still in this daily pullback kind of scenario, and there's this kind of swing that we've got, and we're kind of forming that, and within this we're creating the high highs and higher lows. So next expectation should be something like this. Yeah, I moved my stops to, I took partials before news, and then I moved my stops to break even. So I'll see if this stops me out, if it continues. Oil, let's have a look at oil. Yeah, so I had this region marked, I think somebody asked last week, and I kind of said this area was good. We had a daily change of character, price pulled back into this high time frame pullback zone. Then we start to shift bullish. We had this big expansion on the 4-hour, and then you know, price has kind of come back into, we probably have an area of demand where price can kind of come back into here. So if we kind of look at the M15, we have been, you know, somewhat bearish, kind of come back and equal highs. So if this breaks above with some conviction, then has a pullback, you could see the 4-hour shift after this 15-minute structure shifts bullish, because you could see price created this high, we had a pullback, we created this high, had a pullback, we create this high, change of character, pullback, then we entered, and that's the thing, you play with marginal gains, because you look at this move here, we had this pullback, we had a break above, closure above, we had this pullback, we had a closure above. So now, where's our high, where's our low, you know? Sorry guys, one sec. So yeah, with so we had a breaker structure to the top side. So there's our 4-hour structure, impulsive move. Kind of had this break above, pull back, break above. and then we had a change of character, as this was the low and that was the high. Now you can see we had an area of imbalance in supply here, which price came back into, tapped into it. There would have been the shorts somewhere along those regions, rejection from that point, whether you got in there or slightly lower and stops above, and then targeting like the pullback. And then you could see price on the 15-minute created like lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. See what it's doing next. But yeah, looking at it on a 4-hour, this, you know, we've had the daily pullback. Now obviously we had this huge sell-off. Now price is kind of working its way back up, so we could probably expect something like there, retracement to do this, and then within this obviously we have this current like 15-minute trend forming. So whether we break above from here and continue higher, or whether we come down and tap into this demand, we'll need to wait and see. Get rid of this. Gold has reacted to that. Yeah, stopped at break even on this, took partials at like 40 pips, just below 40 pips. So get rid of this and see what price does. If price fails to break above this previous M15 swing high where we had this change of character, then potentially look for some further shorts, but right now it doesn't look like that's happening. Right guys, pretty short and sweet stream. News is done, so like I said, gold, I think the next good trade opportunity would be, we have all this imbalance, we had this break above this area of supply, we perfectly reacted to this, so kind of pullbacks into 2004.895 could be a good place to look for some buys. Just wait to see price respects this zone, and then you can start targeting price continuing above. But yeah, take it easy, trade wisely as always.